ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
An alarming number of children are being rushed to Rady Children's Hospital with an illness that stems from COVID-19. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our ABC 10 News reporter Rena Nakano explains the dangers of Miss C.
While the coronavirus pandemic dominates the headlines, pediatricians worldwide are seeing a spike in another dangerous trend.
We're just, in the midst of Miss C.
Miss C stands for multisystem inflammatory syndrome in children. It's an inflammatory reaction to COVID affecting mostly school-aged children who 2 to 6 weeks prior got COVID themselves or were exposed to someone with COVID-19 in the household. Symptoms include
vomiting, diarrhea, red eyes, red lips, a rash throughout the body.
Dr. Adriana Tremolay says since last April, there have been 57 cases of Miss C at Rady Children's Hospital, but a majority of them were seen in the last 2 months. Timing-wise, she says it aligns exactly 2 to 6 weeks after the holiday COVID spike in adults.
So the heart is a pump, and it doesn't pump well in many of these children.
Children spend on average 5 to 9 days at Rady, many needing care at the ICU. Dr. Tremolay says Miss C predominantly affects Latino and African American children, but it's unknown if it's because there's a larger COVID rate among these demographics or if it's a genetic predisposition.
Latin America is seeing a lot of Latino children, of course, with Miss C, but they're also seeing a lot of COVID, whereas countries in Asia have also, of course, seen less COVID, but they're really not seeing Miss C at all.
Dr. Tremolay asks parents if they had or were exposed to COVID in recent weeks to be extra vigilant.
Using that barometer as a parent where you know that your child is ill more than they normally would be and to seek medical attention.
Rena Nakano, ABC 10 News.
The youngest Miss C patient at Rady was 2 years old and the oldest was in their teens, but there have been some cases nationwide involving young adults.
The county reported another 698 cases today, and our test positivity rate was 8%. 5 more people have lost their lives to COVID, bringing our total to 3,042. Governor Newsom says a number of California counties could be moved to a less restrictive tier starting next week. Speaking today in Los Angeles, Newsom said California is among the world's leaders in vaccinating people.
There are only 7 jurisdictions in the world that have administered more doses of the vaccine than the state of California, some 6.3 million doses.
California's goal is to give out 3 million shots a week starting the 1st of March. And right now, Chula Vista city leaders are deciding whether to greenlight a program that would provide millions of dollars in rental assistance. Well, the money would come from state and federal funds. Chula Vista has nearly $17 million in funding that eligible residents could use to pay past due and upcoming rent, as well as utility bills. We'll let you know the city council's decision once they hold a vote.
2,000 appointments opened up today at vaccine sites run by Sharp Healthcare. That includes the vaccine superstations in Chula Vista and La Mesa. Sharp recently received a new batch of doses from around the country. In the meantime, the vaccine superstation at Petco Park will reopen tomorrow. It has been closed the last 3 days because of a vaccine shipment from Moderna was delayed. That forced many San Diegans to push back their second dose. Our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala goes in depth for a look at whether that delay could make the vaccine less effective.
Scheduling a second COVID-19 vaccine dose continues to be a problem for some San Diegans. Some second dose appointments were even delayed by about a week when a vaccine shortage caused the Petco Park vaccination superstation to close for 3 days. ABC 10 News has heard from viewers worried that they won't get that second dose within the recommended time frame, 21 days after the first dose for Pfizer and 28 days after for Moderna.
Just because you've been delayed, whether it be 8 days or 14 days, etc., does not mean you're not going to respond appropriately. We believe that you can respond appropriately.
Dr. David Pride is the director of molecular microbiology at UCSD Health. He says when you get that first COVID-19 vaccine dose, your body starts working to provide protection.
You're really sort of trying to prime your immune system to start responding. And most importantly, you're trying to create it such that your immune system is going to remember having seen that virus before.
The second dose or booster then ramps up that immune response. Pride says shooting for the 21 or 28 days is definitely preferred, but he says if that's not possible, there is some leeway. The CDC recently updated guidance, which says the second dose should be administered as close to the recommended interval as possible. However, if it is not feasible to adhere to the recommended interval and a delay in vaccination is unavoidable, the second dose of Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines may be administered up to 6 weeks, 42 days after the first dose.
They came up with 42 days based on data and based on studying the population and getting a feel for how the body mounts the immune response. There's not a lot of data out there, but the limited data they have has said if it is not feasible to get the shot at the optimal time and it's unavoidable, that you have up to 42 days to get that shot from the first dose without compromising your body's immunity.
Marissa Corey is the outpatient pharmacy supervisor at Sharp Chula Vista Medical Center, and she's also been helping with vaccinations at the South Bay Superstation for about 3 weeks. Both Corey and Pride agree people should strive to get the second dose within the original recommended time frame because that has been studied the most. But they say if your appointment is delayed, follow the CDC guidance and get the shot within the 42-day window.
Let me reassure the viewers, if you are delayed in your second dose, whether it be weather, whether it be family problems, do not be concerned. You are still able to mount an immune response.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
We know there are a lot of questions and different experiences with the vaccine rollout. Our ABC 10 News in-depth team is committed to tracking down answers and sharing your stories. Just send us an email to tips@10news.com.
We have a follow-up to breaking news that we brought you last night. A man accused of shooting another man in the chest barricaded himself inside a Jamul home. The SWAT team tried to get him out for 16 hours before discovering him dead in the attic around 4:30 this morning from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. His name has not been released. We are told the man that he shot is expected to survive. The family of a young man who died at Mission Trails Regional Park is fighting to get a bridge over the water to improve safety. Max Lanai died while attempting to cross the San Diego River 3 weeks ago. Team 10 investigator Melissa Masiha discovered a bridge has been on the radar for nearly a decade.
It's a pain Max Lanai's parents live with every day.
He and I were very, very close. We spoke every day, and we were incredibly close.
Max loved the outdoors. On January 29th, he went for a run at Mission Trails Regional Park. His body discovered in the water the next day, where his parents said he likely slipped and drowned. He was 21.
We told him every day that we loved him. He was the kind of, the rare 21-year-old who insisted on talking to us every day. And every call would end with, I love you. Let's talk tomorrow.
No more talks with their son, but Ben Lanai and Lori Yoler are talking to the city. They're devoting their time and finances to getting a bridge built in Max's memory.
It's unclear exactly how deep the water was when Max tried to cross, but this is a popular area for people to try to cross. As Max's parents tried to get a bridge built here, we did notice that there are no signs warning people about the dangers of the river.
Tuesday morning, there were dogs playing in the water and people crossing nearby. A bridge is in the master plan for Mission Trails, but Team 10 learned conversations about it are not new. Documents show as far back as 2010, a bridge was asked to be given a higher priority. It seemed money stalled any future project, according to minutes from the Citizens Advisory Committee. Summer 2011, a committee agenda shows one planner believed a cable suspension bridge seems feasible. By the end of 2011, momentum was lost due in part to a backlog of other projects. Ben and Lori have been in contact with new council member Raul Campillo. They feel conversations are transparent, however.
Do you feel like the city is taking your request seriously for a bridge?
It's not clear yet. Is the impetus of our son dying on that path going to make them move this forward?
In a statement to Team 10, a city spokesperson said bridge discussions will continue, but acknowledged factors like funding, infrastructure, and habitat play a role. The council member's office told Ben and Lori this could be an 8-figure project. That amount troubling to Max's parents, who are willing to donate a significant amount.
We're doing it to honor his memory because he was a avid hiker, runner, and outdoorsman. And we want to help others who have the same passion.
Melissa Masiha, ABC 10 News.
And Max's parents will be presenting at the Citizens Advisory Committee next month.
All right, did you feel it? The people reported experiencing a big shaking just before 5:15 in areas ranging from South Park to Chula Vista. We checked and there was no earthquake. A Navy spokesperson says he's not aware of any military exercises. We are still awaiting word from the Marines.